Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 9th regular council meeting for the City of Dauphin. We'll call the meeting to order right at 5 o'clock this evening. And before we do get started, we'd like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 2 land, traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Assiniboine, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and homeland of the Métis Nation. And we affirm our commitment to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. Moved by Councillor Bellemare and seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that Council accepts the regular council meeting agenda as presented. Any questions, comments involving that agenda? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? And motion carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be it resolved that Council waives the reading and accepts and approves as circulated the minutes from the meeting on May 26th. That's the regular Council meeting from that night here at City Hall. Any questions or comments involving those minutes? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Next is the consent agenda. We'll start with action items. This is 5A, number 1, outstanding water accounts added to taxes. Be it resolved that the following water accounts be added to taxes. We've got 4 here. 209 6th Avenue Northeast. The previous tenant did not pay their final water bill. That one's for $836.74. At 623 Main Street North, the tenant did not pay their final water bill there for $440.21. At 16 McLeod Avenue West, previous tenant did not pay the final water bill there, $133.21. And for $62.01 on 2 Johnson Street, the owner's spouse did not pay the final water bill there. That all totals up to $1,472.17. And that as recommended by the Director of Finance and the Utility Clerk. We have 2 proclamations today. One will be read by Councillor Ray and one will be read by Councillor Sobering. The first one, Councillor Ray, for National Public Service Week.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Whereas by an act of Parliament in 1992, the 3rd week of June was proclaimed as Public Service Week. And whereas public service employees from all 3 levels of government share a common link that sets them apart from employees in other sectors, and whereas it is their commitment to serve the citizens of our cities, provinces, and country with professionalism, expertise, and sensitivity to the challenges faced by an ever-changing public. And whereas public service employees should be thanked for their contributions to society, now therefore we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim June 15th to the 21st, 2025 as National Public Service Week.
Thank you, Councillor Ray. The next one, read by Councillor Sobering, is for National Indigenous Peoples Day.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Whereas this June 21st, National Indigenous Peoples Day is the 29th anniversary of celebrating the heritage, diverse cultures, and valuable contributions of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples to our country, province, and communities. And whereas National Indigenous Peoples Day is also an opportunity to come together to share the experience of Indigenous culture, and traditional food, dance, storytelling, and games. And whereas collectively we recognize the courage of residential school survivors and their families and grieve the suffering and loss of Indigenous children found near the sites of Canada's residential schools. And whereas we believe that every child matters and that meaningful steps toward reconciliation in a spirit of respect, cooperation, and partnership are more important than ever before. June 21st, 2025 as National Indigenous Peoples Day.
Thank you. We'll continue on with consent agenda. We'll go into B now, filing items. The introduction letter for Canadian Postmasters and Assistants Association. Under number 2 there, Mountain View School Division's News Digest for May 26th. Community Futures Parkland newsletter for June of 2025. Association of Manitoba Municipalities 2025 District Director elections. And number 5 under B, Prairie Mountain Health's 2 little items here, supporting fire evacuees in your community and the Health Plus newsletter for the month of June. And that is all recommended by the Deputy Mayor and the City Manager. So moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that all those items listed and read under item 5 consent agenda be approved and form part of these minutes. Any questions or quick comments there? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following corporate report for this evening's regular council meeting. This one of the city manager for the month of May. Anything you'd like to add or comment about in that report, city manager?
Yeah, thanks, Deputy Mayor. A couple things I wanted to comment about. First was the removal of the turntable at the shop and how we have worked with the Dauphin Rail Museum, and we've settled upon an offsite memorial that will be in CN Park. The turntable will be removed later this summer. It'll probably take over a year or so to get that memorial put together, but we're going to put the pieces aside and keep them safe until that's built. So we're anticipating that would come into CN Park in the summer of 2026. Second thing I wanted to talk about was the fire evacuees that are in town. Over the course of approximately the last 2 weeks, we've welcomed about 250 or so people from northern communities into Dauphin, from about 8 or 10 different places. There's been a huge grassroots support for the evacuees, and just wanted to say thank you to the group that's helping to provide. There's been a lot of communication and a lot of coordination involved, and it's good to see our community coming together for that purpose. Thank you.
Thank you very much, city manager. Any questions or comments from any councillors regarding the report? Seeing none, then we'll call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following corporate report for tonight's council meeting from the Deputy City Manager for the month of May. Deputy City Manager, do you have any comments on that report?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Lachlan. Just quickly, I just wanted to note that over the last several months, the city's been working with Urban Systems to develop a revised and updated zoning bylaw that reflects current planning principles and best practices in urban development. And the draft zoning bylaw will be presented for public viewing and feedback at an open house at City Hall this Wednesday, June 11th, from 5 to 7, prior to being brought forward for first reading by council. And we look forward to hearing from the community and getting their feedback as we finalize this important planning document. Thank you.
Thank you. And yes, make sure to come out to that event this Wednesday for sure. Any other questions or comments from council? Seeing none, we'll call the question then. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that the finance accounts have been examined by council and be hereby authorized and approved as follows. Check totals ranging from 500 to 552. That's 53 in total, totaling $363,000, 741 and 49 cents. No voided checks in the current range, no voided checks in past ranges. The electronic payments for May 2025 is 6, and that total is $196,270.88. Any questions or comments there? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the unaudited financial statements before PSAB adjustments for the period ending February 28th of this year. And that includes number 1, the general fund balance sheet and income statement, and number 2, the utility fund balance sheet and income statement. Any comments or questions regarding those two items? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Stikilo. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the reserve report for the period ending for February 2025. Any questions or comments there? Seeing none, call the questions. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following engineering staff reports for the June 9th regular council meeting. Yes, that's today. That's for the building inspector for the month of May. Any questions or comments there? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Some exciting news in that resolution that I'm sure will be in your local Dauphin Herald later this week. So check that out. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following Protective Services report for the regular Council meeting this evening. This is for the Bylaw Enforcement Officer, and it is for the month of May. Any questions or comments on that report? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following Protective Services report for tonight's regular Council meeting. That is for the Animal Services Officer, and that is as well for the month of May. Any questions, comments regarding this one? Councillor Bellemare.
Thank you. Just wanted to share with the community that if you have a concern about an animal, to please call City Hall or drop by. I was in a situation on Friday where I was driving. It was really hot, and there was a truck with a dog in there, and I'm at the light, and I'm going, this dog does not look good, and I'm going, please, Dave, be in the office. Please, Dave, be in the office. And he was, and he went and checked, and he was able to resolve the situation because the animal was in distress. So, you know, that whole thing about it takes a community to take care of your kids and your pets and each other. So please, Dave is very good, so please use his services.
Indeed.
And just,
Yep.
Deputy City Manager, the phone number, is there a phone number that the Animal Services Officer can be contacted
Sure,
directly?
204-648-3593.
648-3593. Same number it's been for years.
That's correct.
Excellent, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Bellemare, whereas in lieu of fireworks, the City of Dauphin has partnered with the Dauphin and District Allied Arts Council to coordinate a Canada Day in CN Park celebration, including a free outdoor community concert, which will take place on Tuesday, July 1st from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And whereas the city has received a Celebrate Canada grant from Heritage Canada in the amount of $5,000 to help fund this event, be it resolved that Council accepts as information a memorandum dated June 6th, 2025, from the Deputy City Manager, noting that the city has secured musicians and a sound technician to provide entertainment for the Canada Day in CN Park event, and recommending that the following entertainment agreements be approved. Opening entertainer is Avery Stakilo, solo $250 plus applicable taxes. The feature entertainer will be Emma Peterson with band for $3,500 plus applicable taxes, and the sound technician will be Chris Flett at $1,000 plus applicable taxes. And further be it resolved that Council agrees with the Deputy City Manager's recommendation and authorizes the agreements for the musicians and sound technician be signed and sealed by the City Manager on behalf of the City of Dauphin. Any questions or comments there? Seeing none, we'll call a question. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information correspondence dated June 6, 2025 from Shirley Bomack, District Supervisor, Property Assessment Services, advising that the date for the annual sitting of the Board of Revision for the 2026 assessment roll will be on Monday, December 1st, 2025 at 2 o'clock. Any questions or comments on that? Seeing none, we'll call the questions. All in favor? And motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following invitation. That is for the Dauphin Agricultural Society's Fair Parade happening on June 28th this year. And further be it resolved that all expenses related to Council and senior management attending this event be borne by the City of Dauphin. Any questions or comments regarding that? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following community events. Congratulations to Dean Cooley GM. They're having their 30th anniversary celebration barbecue on June 10th. That is tomorrow, Tuesday, at the dealership as well. Item number 2, Manitoba Métis Federation and Northwest Métis Council's 3rd annual Dauphin Walk with Pride. That is going on this Saturday here in town. Any questions? Sorry, Friday, 13th. Any questions or comments regarding those 2 items? Seeing none, we'll call a question. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo and seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be it resolved that Council now accepts as information Councillors' reports for the regular Council meeting of tonight, June 9th, 2025. We will get to those before we pass this resolution, and we'll start. Dave, Mayor Bozyak always likes to start to his right. I'm left-handed, so I'll start to my left. Councillor Sobering.
I knew you were left-leaning for sure. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Being summer, I don't have a ton of stuff to report, but there has been a lot of commercial activity in the city of Dauphin, which is promising. It's unfortunate the communities are dealing with wildfires, and I hope they're receiving the support they need, and hopefully this isn't a routine thing year to year, every summer. On the 22nd, I attended a meeting, economic development regarding the craft district, just some planning and scoping as far as the detailed technical design of that project. Urban Systems is taking the lead on that aspect. On the 24th and 5th, I attended a tour guide provider meeting at Northgate. There was a conference being held at Clear Lake for tour guide or tourism providers, attracting more visitors to our area, the Rocky Mountain National Park specifically, but also trying to attract some of those visitors to the Northgate multi-use trails network and then via that to Dauphin. So we were there, and there was quite a few people from all over the world, China, India, the United States, the UK, Peru, Germany, just pretty much everywhere around the planet. And it was very interesting to see them come and visit our neck of the woods and just be interested in the community and what we have to offer. And I believe the tour bus took it wasn't planned, but they decided, since they had such a great time at the Northgate, they traveled through the city of Dauphin just to see what we had to offer, and hopefully that will yield some promising tours and visitors in the future. So that was really positive. Other than that, I attended a few events. One was hosted at the Best Western facility, and it was an amazing hotel. It was a conference that I attended not on behalf of the city, but I just wanted to say that hotel we have in Dauphin is amazing. The amenities are top notch. I couldn't believe how well run it was. You would never know. You would think you're in a major city center. The professionalism and the just the top notch class of that facility, and I was actually surprised. And I guess I shouldn't be, but it was. I just want to give a shout out to the Best Western and their crew, and I'm sure they're doing their part to house some of our evacuees as well. So I know that they're in good hands there, because it is a really well-run operation. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Councillor Sobering. We'll move to Councillor Stakilo.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. For myself, May 26th, regular council meeting, and then on May 28th, we had a property standards meeting. And this was the first one that David McGinnis was in attendance for. I know he's been in the position for a few months now, doing some really great work, but this is the first time we could formally come together and have a property standards meeting. And with that, it was good to see. There's always a report on some of the properties with issues, and we were able to take a few off the list just due to some of the hard work that the group has been doing in order to get those properties in order and within the guidelines of our property standards. So that was great to see, and it was a positive meeting for sure. And that's it for me. And I just want to put a kudos out to everyone that's volunteering and helping with the fire evacuees. I can't imagine the stress and strain that is being put on these individuals and families. It's very tough, very difficult situation, and very thankful that our community can support and be able to offer some of the help that we can. So our thoughts are with all of the evacuees at this time. And that ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stakile. We'll move to my right now, Councillor Bellemare.
Thank you. For council work on May 27th, I went to a Watson board meeting, and on the 28th and 29th, I was involved with community and safety and well-being meetings. One was a community of practice and one was an advisory meeting. Upcoming community event this Friday and Saturday, another yard sale in Dauphin, because we love yard sales. This one is supporting the Parkland Humane Society. So if you still have stuff you want to get rid of, they're graciously accepting that. And they're also looking for people who are going to assist with the sale and shopping at the sale. And as always, if you have a little bit of time and you're interested in volunteering to feed or walk or clean up after those sweet animals, they would love to have your help. And also, I too would like to give a big thank you to everyone who's assisting with the forest fire situation in our province, both locally and across the province. All the firefighters, I'm going to list a few here: firefighters, cooks, pilots, Red Cross, emergency measures, local volunteers, agency workers, Treaty 2 and 4, MMF, Dauphin Friendship Center, and others as well. So it's a long list. And just a reminder, if you donate to the Red Cross, both the province and the feds will match. So your $1 becomes $3. So that's also a good thing to consider. And they are accepting all kinds of stuff down at the Rotary as well. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bellemare. Councillor Ray.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. May 26th, I attended our last regular meeting. And earlier in the day, I met with Justin Tokarchuk and Daryl Aiken at CN Park to solidify a spot to place the cement pad for the sharps bin that's being placed in the park. And then an update with that, the cement pad was poured by the city last week, and the cost of that has been picked up by the Dauphin Clinic Pharmacy, so thanks to them. May 28th, I had a rec committee meeting in the morning, a property standards committee meeting at noon, and then I joined our community safety well-being team's community practice meeting later in the afternoon with CCFSC. On the 29th, I attended the Community Safety Wellbeing Advisory Teams meeting in the morning and the DART Committee meeting at DFC in the afternoon. And I would also like to express my thanks to all the volunteers that are helping with the evacuees, and we certainly hope that situation gets better over the next few days, and we're definitely praying for rain up north. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. And he's not used to it, but lastly, Councillor Daly.
Thanks, Deputy Mayor Lachlan. May 26th, attended the last regular council meeting virtually. June 1st, I attended and met with staff handling the evacuation reception center at the Rotary. As a result of that meeting, contacted our city manager, and we arranged the meeting the next day, June 2nd, in the morning. Attended that emergency meeting with Charlotte, our city manager, Prairie Mountain Health, MMF, West Region Tribal Council, Treaty 2-4, and Conrad, our municipal emergency coordinator. Kind of set up how things would look going into the next week or so. June 3rd, we had another meeting at 9, I think it was 9 in the morning with the Justice Department. We're in town with respect to security. A very good meeting with those gentlemen. In the afternoon, we also met with Shelley Napier from MAMEC on possible assistance that could be provided to the staff over there at Rotary as time drags on for them and they get worn out. June 4th, we met again. City manager and I met with Glenda Short. I think she's not the VP, but like the VP of Prairie Mountain Health. Talked about sharps and staffing issues. On June 5th, I attended AC Grad as representing the mayor and council, as well as board of director for Assiniboine College. Very nice event. Enjoyed it. June 9th at lunch today, I attended the MMF Community Advisory Board monthly meeting, and I'll follow up with some extra stuff on that later. And I too want to thank everybody for their efforts, both from the city side and everybody working over at the Rotary. They're doing a heck of a job with a lot of people that weren't really sent here. I think the number we're at right now is 260. And it's hard. It's a very hard job to deal with and plan for meals and registration when you don't have any clue how many people are coming or when they're coming or where they're coming from. So I think they're doing good, and hopefully it won't last too much longer. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Councillor Daly. And with that being said, be it resolved that council accepts as information the councillors' reports for tonight's regular council meeting, June 9th, 2025. No questions, no comments, so we'll call those. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried and moved by Councillor Ray and seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved the council meeting for this evening be recessed at 5:25.